Good morning, everyone. I am Tanzila Noushin. I am a MS student in the University of Texas at Tyler, and my supervisor is Dr. Shawana. My paper is titled as Kirigami-Patterned IoT-Enabled Smart Anklet to Aid Physiotherapy of Patients with Foot Injury. So here in the picture, you can guess these are some common physiotherapy exercises that physiotherapy suggests when we have ankle sprain or any surgery in the leg or have foot or ankle injury. If we just focus on the ankle sprain, you'll be surprised that around 2 million ankle sprain cases are reported each year in the United States. So you can understand these kind of exercises are pretty common. And the patients who have this kind of injury are mostly athletes, senior citizens, and patients after leg surgery. So after having this kind of injury, the patients have very bad swelling in their foot, and also they have very severe pain. So in that situation, when they go through this kind of physiotherapy, it's also important for the patients and the physiotherapists to track the recovery progress. But as they are already in pain, it becomes very hard for them to calculate the steps, that how many steps they have completed, and also keep the track of the angle they are making progress. Because in the beginning of this kind of injury, as there is swelling and pain, they barely can move their ankle. But with time, after like 3 or 4 months, they can then extend it far better than the initial stage. So actually, it's very hard for them to keep the track of their recovery progress. So we need a device that can actually keep the track of their progress, so that the physiotherapist also can review it, and also patients can have a look at it. So the current devices that are available for ankle health care is ankle trackers. So what these trackers do, they do step tracking, distance, speed, and stride measurement for different activities mode, such as running, swimming, and cycling. So these trackers are designed for the athletes, basically. It's not for the injured people, because injured people are in pain, so they cannot do all this running, swimming, and cycling. And then again, there is digital ankle therapist. It helps stroke survivors improve walking speed and endurance through repetitive task practice. For the injury, the physiotherapists don't suggest using this kind of ankle therapist, because as they have very severe injury. If they use any kind of machine like that, it may harm their ankle. So they prefer that the patient do the exercise by themselves. So the limitation of these devices are, it's not specifically designed to track the recovery of limb injury, and it's not recommended by physiotherapists. So there is no device available for the specific solution we are looking for. So here is our device. Our device is inspired by the kirigami design. Kirigami is a Japanese art of cutting paper. So by being inspired by that, we have designed this strain sensor. So our strain sensor can detect and monitor limb injury in the recovery in terms of angle, bending, twisting, or any kind of strain applied on the body parts. And also it can be installed in any part of the body. It's highly sensitive, conformal, simple to fabricate, and also cost effective. So it can record the progress of physiotherapy by measuring stretching and bending angles. And then the IoT-enabled device that is integrated with it, it will notify the user upon completion of the assigned number of steps. And also patients, physiotherapists, and health insurance companies can visualize the recorded data. Here, if the health insurance company can get the data, it will be very important, and they can be a very important key partner for us, because the health insurance company actually pay 80% of the treatment we are taking. So I think they would like to have a look at the data, that if the patients is actually doing the exercise, how they are improving. I think this data would be very important and useful for them. So here we have designed the sensor in 2 different substrates, one on 125 micrometer thick polyimide sheet, and another one 25 micrometer polyimide sheet. And then we did the calibration for plots for different strain. So in figure A, you can see we have calibration plot for the planar sensor without any Kirigami design, and the performance for that one was very poor. It was like the strain was applied just up to 50%. And then for the 125 micrometer thick polyimide, the response was a little better, but it was not that much sensitive. But for the 25 micrometer thin polyimide, you can see the graph is changing, and the equation we got is much more sensitive than the 125 micrometer one. So we have took that for the optimal for our design, and then we did the ankle flexion angle calibration plot. So we did the ankle flexion up to 135 degree angle, and then we did the torsion test by twisting and deforming our sensor in certain angle, like 180 degree to 360 degree, and we took the measurement of relative resistance of our sensor. And then we did reversibility test, hysteresis, and repeatability. So the reversibility test was done by flexing the ankle back and forth between 80 degree to 90 degree in figure A, and then between 90 degree to 140 degree in figure B. And then we stretched our sensor up to 100 cycle, and then we did the hysteresis test, stretching the sensor forward and then releasing it backward for both 125 micrometer polyimide sheet sensor and also for the 25 micrometer polyimide sheet. So here you can see for 25 micrometer polyimide sheet, the response was pretty stable while we are stretching it and then releasing it, and its response is pretty stable and also like close. And then we did the repeatability test. We took 3 different sensors with 25 micrometer polyimide sheet sensor, and then we took data for 20% strain, 100% strain, and 180% strain, and took the data over 3 days, and it showed almost same amount of resistance. So it shows that our sensor is repeatable. The IEEE data acquisition unit consisted of ESP32 microcontroller. It had onboard OLED display. It had onboard Wi-Fi module to send data to cloud, and we used a mobile app. So the display actually showed the step counts and percentage of the target attained. Like if it's attained 50%, it will show 50%. When it's done, it will show 100%. And then buzzer will notify the senior citizen of their rehabilitation progress. And the buzzer also generates multiple alarms after completion of each ankle exercise. For instance, one session comprised of 10 ankle flexes. So the future work we are planning to do with our sensor is make it so sensitive to strain so that it can track physiotherapy exercise for any different part of the body. Also, stretching and bending of the knee, they can measure it, and other body part movements such as walking, running, jogging, jumping. Also, we want to make it sensitive to strain so that it can detect the finger and wrist movement. And also, we want it to mount on prosthetics and track the progress of the movement. And also, we want to use it on various robotic parts to monitor the movement of that robots and also further control according to the response we are getting from the sensor. And also we want to make it sensitive so that it can measure finger bending, arm folding, wrist twisting, and knee stretching besides the ankle bending. Also, we want to incorporate high sensitivity to enable touch and heartbeat detection, and also we want to make it detect the strain applied on the muscle during exercise. So thank you everyone for your time. I'm open for any kind of questions.